Hi guys, hello there. I have to wait because this is on a delay. I think it's like almost a minute of a delay. So let me just wait to make sure everything is okay. I'm going to wait a little bit more and then I'll check my audio. Okay, there it is. Let me just check. Hello there. Yes, I think it's okay. Hi you guys. Hello everybody. Hello Ewa Karolina, Happy Girl, Agencja Kosmiczna, Darek, Merlot, Engenfire, Brigitta, Astral Irma, Ewa Karolina, and so many others. I think everything is okay. Just confirm that you can hear me. This is not a very long live. It's not a long live at all. Just few comments here and there. I have to talk a little bit low because it's after midnight, my time, and I live in a small apartment and the neighbors here are quite demanding when it comes to wanting silence. Anyway, hey Daniel James, everybody, can you hear me? Crystal Vintage, can you hear me? Can you just say yes, everything is okay, Happy Girl? Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you everybody in the chat and supporting and moderating and helping. And have a hello everybody who is not in the chat but watching us, and also hello to everybody who is going to watch us after this live is over. First of all, I want to say hello to all the newcomers and all the new subscribers. And I just want to say to you, I'm sorry that this is probably not the best time. It's kind of like the worst time that you could have joined in our journey of this Taygetan disclosure, because we have been doing this for 7.5 years, more or less, with ongoing constant flow of knowledge and information. And now we are here at the moment, and you know, the older members will understand, that is kind of confusing, that is difficult. We have what we believe had some sort of a intervention here in this project, in the Taygetan world, so to speak. So you are not coming in at the best time. That's why you are seeing some of these videos, and like this live, for example, that may not make sense to you or may be confusing. So just skip that and go straight to the playlists, because in the playlists, that's where you will see all the knowledge, wisdom and information that was given to us throughout all these years. And we have metaphysical information, technical information, historical information, all kinds of stuff is there in the playlist. Today's video is more to do with just addressing some little points here and there, but to do with the current confusing, heavy situation. Okay, so skip that if you don't know what this is about. Hello Scott Adams and Ben Derricks and everybody else. Okay, so yesterday I published a tertulia, what I called a tertulia. We call that tertulia in Spanish. We published that with Robert on our channels. It's something that we do. We have been doing that kind of series of videos together for years already. It's in my Spanish channel and it's in Robert's channel. It's when we come together and we discuss different points. Before, we used to do that a lot because we used to actually share a flat. Yes, we used to be roommates a long time ago when we used to live in Barcelona. And we just did those tertulias all the time. But then now, for example, we are not living close, so they don't come as often. And actually, the last tertulia that we did, yesterday's ones, is auto-dubbed. So go to Robert's channel. It's called Despejando Enigmas. That's also in my Telegram group and Facebook and community wall. And you can see it dubbed. It's full of crazy, strange mistakes. Like for example, I think twice I am saying, we are losing our mind, we are losing, no, I didn't say that. That's a wrong translation. So there are mistakes, but I think the essence of what we were saying there, chaotically with the water coming close, is preserved, so you can have fun watching that. Well, David, I was just thinking earlier today that we haven't heard much from Gosia lately. I was gone. I made a video last time that I was going away. So I was gone for 10 days, more or less. And of course, around these trips, it's usually a few days here and there that I need to settle down and organize myself. The first thing I usually do after these trips is I organize my photos and videos, so you can see those photos on my Facebook page, and that's that. Yeah, we went camping. Well, Robert and his sister were in their caravan, a car. I was camping. I was in the tent with my dog Bongo. It was great. We went to Tromsø area, and that's when we filmed our tertulia, so you can see it. Sorry, it's a bit chaotic. Like I'm saying, we had sun in our faces, we had water coming close, the tide was coming up. So it's a bit crazy, but that's sometimes how our tertulias are. They're very spontaneous, and we are just talking there without any specific plan. So I just wanted to do that, to invite you to that tertulia. But also, if you don't want to go through the tertulia itself, let me just tell you briefly what we spoke about. Well, first, Robert is talking about, because Robert is very much on this topic of CIC, of, disclosing who they are and finding out who is behind. As you know, it's already established, the CIC, that's totally human. And we have the names, Robert has the names. I don't really bother much with the CIC itself, because for me it's a very low level of the operation. So I am more interested, I would be more interested, even though that's very, very difficult, of course, to know what's happening on the top level of this whole shenanigan. But yes, Robert is there talking about the CIC. He has the names of the humans, not step downs with the terrestrial identities, though totally human people who have been working behind the CIC 1, CIC 3 and 7. We don't know who else is there, but these people are there for sure. And these are the people that have been sending you thank you notes, which is a shame, because we have all been told ourselves as well, and you especially, that all these donations that you are sending, they're going to be signed by the extraterrestrial themselves, by the Taygetans, and it's not the case. It's basically Lula and her team. So that's that. But that's Robert's side of things. Okay, I don't occupy myself much with that, but I'm telling you this because that's what he said in the tertulia. Okay, now I also mentioned something very interesting that happened to me, I believe, on the 21st of August. 21st of August is my birthday, which I do not advertise because I don't celebrate birthdays. I don't really care. I don't do nothing. I don't like birthday wishes. So I keep it quiet, but I'm mentioning it because I believe something happened. Okay. For the last year, of course, this whole year, and I told you that this was like the worst year of my life, basically. It's true. It still keeps being that way, even though it's a bit better now. But for the last 2 months, since we made that first announcement, it hasn't been easy at all. I'll mention that in a bit as well. However, something happened on the 21st that completely erased my toxic feelings about this whole situation. Okay, so 21st, it's my birthday. Matthias and Matthias is my boyfriend, my partner. He doesn't like to be called boyfriend because he believes it's childish. So we say partner. So we go to the crystal shop. Are you there? Because no one is chatting. I don't know if I'm still there. We go to the crystal shop because he is very much into rocks and stones right now. Matthias, can you hear me? Can someone say something? Okay. Or are you so drawn into my story? Okay. Are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, yes, wiggle room. Thank you very much. So we go to the crystal shop and I see a little Herkimer quartz. Herkimer quartz, and I touched it. And suddenly when I touched it, I really felt transported somewhere beyond, somewhere like to the higher, very crystal clear ground. So Matthias tells me he's going to buy it for me for my birthday. At first I refused because the Herkimer quartz are not very cheap. I didn't want that. But he insisted. Yes, so he got it for me. This is it. And there, you see? Okay, so I meditated on that day, 21st August, my birthday, with that Herkimer, and I literally felt, like I told you, catapulted into some kind of a very elevated state. Okay, the same day, 21st August, Mari, if I remember correctly, that day, doesn't make a video. I don't know, I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's connected. I don't know. I don't remember the reason because I don't follow the channel, but I do remember the people telling me she didn't make the video. So she didn't make the video. Okay, now 21st August is also my immersion entry date. Yes, I came in here according to the information I was given by them on the 21st August in 2017, just a few months before meeting them on my birthday. So now, why is this strange? Because the next day, literally the next day after I was touching this Herkimer, playing with it in my hands, meditating, from one day to another, just like that, I felt like all these toxic energies and emotions that I have been feeling all those prior months have been erased. But it was so strange. It was like it was cut off, like really someone came in and quantically, etherically cut it off and cleared it. I didn't do it myself. I don't know, did I? With a Herkimer quartz? Did my higher self did that? Or, I don't know, did something happen? Was I woken up from my immersion pod and someone spoke to me there and explained some things and that's why I got this strange calm over me? It was very strange, but I'm telling you about this because it was just so sudden. You know, when you have a healing process, when you are healing negative emotions and sadness and depression, it takes time. It's something that you need to heal in time. And I thought to myself, I was even telling Matthias about this a few days before that. I said, you know, this state I am in, it cannot be just recovered from just like that. Because Matthias has been telling me, don't just move on, you know, forget about these assholes and just move on. No, it's not like that. And I will talk about this a little bit too. It takes time to heal, to understand, to process everything. But with this, and with whatever happened on the 21st August, and Mari didn't make the video, something happened and I was like taken out of that state magically. Like someone did that for me, you know, I didn't need time to recover or to process. So I started to feeling very good after that. I was even trying to find those older feelings of toxicity and sadness. I was telling Matthias, it feels like I am swimming literally through the sea of emotions to find that older emotions that I had, and I couldn't find them. It's like, where are they? What is this? I'm talking about the emotions of sadness and like depression, a little bit of depression, you know, because it's a difficult situation. So anyway, and that's what I'm telling in Tertulia. So I'm just sharing you so you know what this Tertulia is about. But something I did not mention in the Tertulia after I shared this story, because it sounds, watching that Tertulia, that, oh yeah, I'm happy. Now on the 21st August something happened, someone cleared me and I'm just peaceful and I feel okay and everything is great, neutralized. Yeah. But what I didn't say there is that, yes, well, yes, something happened I have been cleared of something magically by someone or by my higher self, I don't know, but it doesn't mean that I am totally okay. And Robert isn't either. And this is something you must be aware that even though we are continuing and, keeping the frequency and being strong and maintaining the frequency and continuing with work, because the work is going to continue, of course, I have to be totally honest with myself and with everybody. And I feel it's important for the healing process is to admit that this is not an easy situation. It's a crapper situation. This situation is super, super heavy for us, super bizarre, super sad, strange. It's so much responsibility, so much pressure, so much tension, so much humiliation. Public humiliation, because all these different things that were said about us that are totally lies, but they were said, and people who don't know us don't know, by the supposed Taygetan team, supposed, that we have been so devoted to and to this cause for 7 years. That's just like humiliating, right? And we have to deal with that in the public because many people don't know. And many people don't know us and our story and what we have done and what we have accomplished, how much we have given of ourselves and of our life to this. During the pandemic time, for example, I remember myself walking the streets in the dark here in Finland, spreading the pamphlets with the information that Anneka was sharing, putting the flyers away, designing them in all the languages. This is not seen by the newcomers. Wiggle room betrayal is the worst. Well, it's not a betrayal if it's infiltration, of course. It's not. But this is actually something we were talking about with Robert in Tromsø when we were walking around. We were saying to ourselves, imagine that this is real. Imagine, okay, in speculative realm, that this is real, what's happening there, right? The Mari is really there, Yaski is there, Athena is there. Well, excuse me, but in that way, them, Yaski, Athena, Dorkalel, Naishara, knowing us and allowing all that was said in that channel about us, knowing that it's all not true, for me, for us, if it was real, of course, if they were really there, then that would be the greatest betrayal of all. Galactic level betrayal, because what we said, yes, because you could for sure say, well, but you started it and you said what you said about it. Yes, but we basically just presented the facts based on the facts. We didn't lie. We showed the screenshots. Specifically, I took the time to present everything well, not based on words, because they said blah, blah words, but we presented evidence, we presented screenshots, we presented the facts, something that none of you can deny because you can also see that. And we presented all that as red flags pointing to something strange. But the response was, because of course there was going to be a response, that's natural. If I was there, I would respond as well, but not based on lies. Because everything that was said as a response was based on nothing, on words, on lies. So that's what I'm saying, that if Yaski was really there, that's why they cannot be there, because knowing them, our friendship, how it was, till the end, I don't see how they would allow that, because they knew better, they knew us. We had the deep friendship until the very end. I mean, the last words from Yaski, you know that, were, why did Matthias leave the server? And she looked sad and with a heart. This is just very strange. And Athena's last words, I do not trust this new incoming Taygetan crew. Her last words, and she disappeared. So yeah, talking about betrayals, we were talking about with Robert about the speculating. Okay, if they were really there, that would be the level of the betrayal that I don't even know if I would be able to recover from, ever. You know, it's like whenever I say I don't trust the people, whenever I say that, you know, and when I say that, I mean I trust the person in the moment, but I also believe that anybody can turn against you at any point. And that's just facts. And we can even see this with our community. People who are always seem very passionate and supportive, at some point they may change their mind and may turn against you. And that's what I mean. I don't trust anybody in that sense. But I would never in a million years suspect that that would ever include someone above. And that's why I'm saying it cannot be anybody above there anymore, because it's just, that's not how they were with us. It's not how the friendship was. It's not how the relationship was until the very, very end. Like I said in my Telegram group just yesterday, there were never any, never, here and there, maybe years ago, but there were never any misunderstandings. So people who come and say in the comments, I hope you can clear your misunderstandings, there is nothing to clear because there was never any misunderstanding. I have no idea. This is like from day and night, something changed. I shared with you in Telegram just yesterday the Athena's screenshots when she came in August. And she told us for the first time in English, she told me, Mari is going to come coordinate with you and Robert. She's going to work with you around the subjects. I was shocked because I didn't expect that. I never asked for that. We never expected that. I even suggested this was maybe not a good idea because it was too much on her hands. I didn't want to add or burden her with more tasks. That's how I am. That's why I'm saying that all these things said about us is totally against my personality, my character, my integrity. And that's why it hurts so much, because these new people that come in, they listen to that, they don't know. But for the 7-8 years, I took special care around this whole friendship, not to be that person. Always respect the time, always respect the space, the freedom. The freedom. How many times I have been always saying they have to be free. Each one of us here has to be always free. We have to be mutually involved. It has to be based on respect. So in that conversation with Athena, I'm sharing with you, you can go to Telegram or to Facebook, and I'm showing you that conversation with that, where she's sharing that Mari is going to come talk to us. And it was a surprise to me because we never expected that. It was her idea, but she never did. That's when they got sick. And that's when things started to become strange. That's when things started to become strange at the end of the last year. Well, exactly, Eva Carolina. If we're so demanding all the bad things, the contact would have not lasted more than 7 years. It wouldn't have. What are they so such? It would be. They would be such victims that we have so much power, or manipulating. Wow, they just cannot get out. Like, what? It's been always super, super mutual. So there is no misunderstandings to clear. They just disappeared. Like I said in my Telegram as well, I said it would be like Matthias disappears suddenly. Like, everything is great. We have a great relationship. He gives me a kiss. He goes to work. He says goodbye. See you tomorrow. He gives me a kiss. He goes. He disappears. And suddenly a third party comes in, and speaks for him. The third party who doesn't know our relationship starts to speak for him and says to me and to the public, Matthias has left. The relationship was very abusive and Gosia stole from him. She stole money. She was checking his phone all the time. Like, what? That's exactly how it feels to me. It's been a bunch of lies. Like, what? What the hell? No. The last time Matthias was here, he gave me a kiss and we hugged and everything was perfect. Like, don't invent stuff. So there is some misunderstandings to clear. So that's what I wanted to say. But yeah, going back to my Herkimer, feeling calm. Yes, since 21st August, I started to feel calm, but at the same time, this is a very heavy situation for us. It's very stressful and very painful. And it's not something we can just turn the page on. And that's something I want to also comment. Someone said in the comments, why don't you just turn the page already? Well, okay. First of all, it's very easy to give such advice from the other side when you are not in the person's shoes, when you are not involved. This has been our life and my whole purpose in life, really, my major purpose in life, rather, for the last 8 years. And if we understand that my immersion happened in 2017, well, then basically my whole stay on Earth has to do with this, right? Of course, I remember my previous existence as Gosia, but if we take this information as a fact, and I don't have grounds not to believe that, well, then this whole situation, this whole contact experience, this friendship, this work has been all my life on Earth. It's been my life. I gave so much energy to this, and I am still giving my energy to this because I'm not going anywhere. So it's not something that you can turn the page from. It's easy, like I'm saying, if you are from the outside. Also, the next point related to this, what does it mean turn the page? Does it mean me going and selling fruit now on the market, doing completely something different? Well, I don't want to. I don't want to, because this is what I enjoy doing. I love sharing videos and helping somehow with what I have, with what I can do, helping the collective of humankind on Earth, on this planet. This is my contribution. I found my contribution and I am very fulfilled here. And I love doing this. So I'm not going to turn the page because, first of all, I continue believing in the Taygetan information and knowledge and what they gave. And they gave so much. So much has been shared, and you can see this on the website. So much stuff that I even forgot. I don't even remember this. At some point, I will have to go back and redo some of these videos for the newcomers, so it's not forgotten. But I'm not there yet because I have so much still to do, so much still to share that is accumulated, as I always say. So turn the page to what? I love doing this. This is my role. And I don't even have to have communication with them. You see, this is the thing. I never really had to have communication with them because many times it was broken and we continued working. We always understood that it can disappear at any moment. We cherished every single moment like it could be the last one. We always said that. And you have to adapt, you have to be flexible, you have to flow with the changes, and you have to be very stable and understand the changes. So for me to continue doing this, I didn't even have to have a communication, because that's why I opened Space Academy. Space Academy, Sector Earth, I opened specifically for the moment when I knew now the communication is not happening, which is completely understandable. They are very busy. Mari is busy. She's doing this and that. Athena is doing this and that. A lot of things happening. Well, totally understandable. I'm there to support them. So I opened this Space Academy, Sector Earth, with no need of communication, just redoing the chapters and the information for the new people in the new format. That's what the Space Academy is for. So no communication is needed at this point. I can adapt to absolutely anything and just be that support. What am I saying about this? So yes, I lost my... So I do want to continue helping. I'm not turning the page from that. Another point about this turning the page is that emotionally, no, you have to give it time. This is, like I said, a very difficult situation for us, as this was my life and Robert's life for the last 7-8 years, deeply. Not just some work. You go to work and you come home and you forget. No, this was 24 hours. This was something that I had on my mind, and I still do, and I probably will for a very long time, always. Always. I'm sleeping and I'm thinking about, their life and their affairs, and about the videos, and about what the new idea for the video could be, and this and that. And I'm waking up, and the first thing I do is do this, and I wake up with this, and I go to sleep with this. That's how it was. So, and that's how it is still. Except for the times, when I go out, when I take my dog out, or when I spend time with Matthias, stuff like that. But everything else, this is all I do. So I don't want to. So yeah, so I don't want to turn the page because I love doing that. Okay, and second of all, it's very difficult to turn the page if you don't know what's happening with your friends that just disappear. Yes, I already said they disappeared sometimes and you have to go flow with the changes. But now, this is a very new level of disappearance. This is something fishy, something strange, something suspicious is going on. So we worry about them. If I disappear, do you just tell Robert or Matthias, turn the page, Gosia is whatever. So you will worry, you will want to know that they are okay, of course. Of course. And finally, I can actually say this without worrying that I will be called manipulative by CIC. Remember last time I said in the chat that I was not happy because Athena and Yaski were gone, and I was worried. And they came and said, why are you trying to manipulate? You're expressing, yours. What? So finally, I can say that openly without that fear. Yes, I hope they are okay. And it's very difficult to turn the page if you spend so much time with someone and they were your friend and family, because they were my family. I didn't have any friends at all, except for Robert and Matthias for the last 7 years. I spent more time with them in the last 7 years than with anybody on the whole planet in my whole life. Sometimes it was literally hours and hours per day. There were years, like between 2020, 2021, before Mari came, that Yaski used to spend every night for hours with me chatting, especially when, at the time she wasn't very understood by the Taygetans. So it was like a family. So suddenly, something strange happens. Like I said, it would be different if they disappear on their own accord, and that, of course, I'll be the first one to understand that because I'm very nomadic, and I go and I cut ties very easy, actually, with my friends, with my family. I am not attached. So I could totally understand that. But the circumstances are what is causing a little bit of concern. Not just the disappearance itself, not the fact that I don't have them to talk to. It's not just that. It's worrying that they are okay because of the circumstances. So that's another point why it's not just easy to turn the page. And another point, us turning the page on this is exactly what the other side wants. Whoever is there, they have tried to take over and have a total control over this, and to destroy everything that has been built until this moment. Destroy the reputation of the predecessors, destroy the reputation of our reputation, and us going away, turning the page and focusing on something. That's exactly what they want, and we cannot do that. We are not going to do that because that's having them win, and we are not going to do that. Because I also believe that it's a continuous. Oh, I'm hearing something. Maybe people are knocking. I don't know. It's a continuous responsibility on our part to continue disseminating this information. I mean, the girls have done so much effort. They gave so much of themselves that work they have, that effort they gave, deserves our continuous care to share that with the people as much as possible. Like, for example, with Space Academy, new format or whatever. Robert is doing lives, for example, now, going over the older Svaru's chapters. the information deserves to be shared, to be the information deserves to the continuous attention. So we cannot do that because that's exactly what the other side wants. They want us gone. They want us disappear. They want us out of the picture for some strange reason. Tell me why. I don't know why. But that's why we cannot do that. And the last point, okay, about this turning the page. In a way, we are turning the page, even though everything I just said, okay, yes, but in a way we are turning the page because we continue our life. That's also a manner of turning the page. We just went to Tromsø, we enjoy life, I take my trips, you know, here and there. We continue our life, we have projects. I'm going to start now painting. The first time in my life, this was like something on my to-do list for a long time, to paint something, and I'm going to paint Bongo, my dog. I bought paints, I bought the whatever canvas. So I have projects, I have things to do. I also focus on my travel channel where I make videos. So the life continues. You know, we have always said that for 7 years we have to be flexible and we have to go with this, whatever happens. It's just that we never in a million years expected this to happen. Never. But we also have to, you know, be open to whatever the future brings. So in that way, we are turning the page because we are continuing to live our life. Now, the plan for the videos is, I already told you in my Telegram group that I'm going to have to do now a Space Academy video, okay? Because it's been months that I was there, and it's been always something more important. You know, I have this more important video to make for Cosmic Agency, but no, I have to stop and I have to now focus on a Space Academy, and it's going to be about the Cabal and about the power structures on Earth. The time is still open for your videos for the community workshop. So if you want to send me your contributions for the community workshop, go to the Telegram group. I have to scroll up, and there are some instructions there where to send those videos, okay? Participate. It's always fun to have people there in that section. And then I'm going to go back to Cosmic Agency, and I have 2 or 3, I think 2 videos to finish with the Behind the Mission series, which is like showcasing our relationship dynamic with them, and especially to do with their sicknesses and how that was dealt with and all that. So it's going to be Anneka, part 3, and there's going to be Yaski and Athena. In the Yaski chapter, there's going to be an interesting point where I will actually share the conversation with Yaski, where I am even telling Yaski that I want to stop. I didn't want to continue. You see, this is also about the point, like when people are saying we were always demand. No. There was also a moment when I didn't want to continue, and you will understand why. It was in 2021. I'm not going to tell you now why. To keep the suspense, and you will see why. And Yaski was telling me, like convincing me in a way that it's okay to continue. And then I'm going to have quite a heavy serious video for you that will be surprising. I also want to keep the suspense on that one, and you will understand why later on. It's going to take me a while because I have to connect a lot of information, go through a lot of transcripts, a lot of information there, but you will understand probably much more about the current situation. I think it's connected. We think it's connected, or it might be connected to the current situation, you know? So yes, so that's going to be shared as well. Let's see, what else do I have to tell you? Not much more, actually. It's just a quick hello. Let me go to the chat room and see any questions. If you have any questions, thank you, Eva Carolina, for sharing the link to Space Academy. Okay, let's see if you have any questions or comments. Charlie, oh good, I haven't sent one yet. Yes, please send it, but I'm going to try to finish it up, I don't know, maybe in 5 days max. And also the last thing about this turning the page thing, you know, you have to understand this is a very personal thing for us. So you have to give us time. And we are going to take as much time as we need to process all this and to get to the bottom of things, if we can, and to just somehow manage through this and with this and continue working. So you have to be patient. You know, I'm not going to rush processing this, even though I am trying to continue working, and I will continue, but at the same time, I'm still processing a lot of things. So I'm going to do what I have to do, you know? So let's see, what else? Thank you everybody for being here. I'm sorry, Ben. I really do not know much about that, except for that if it's coming, you know, as this is something that we have always said throughout the years about this whole Atlas thing. If it's something coming from the official sources, so it's not really to be trusted. But I'll be totally honest. I didn't give it enough thought or attention. I have been occupied with so many other things, so I don't know what to say other than that. Zachary, if you could come out of the immersion to find out the truths of what's really going on. Yes, but then I don't know if I will be able to come back here and tell you. But yeah. Oh, will you be joining Jean-Claude on Beyond Mystic? G. Gosia is asking. Yeah, Jean-Claude sent me an invitation to his show a few months ago already. And I was not in the right mindset at that time, but yeah, probably now it could be an okay moment. Cindy, you and Robert created the disclosure, so we all can have the knowledge too, and for that I will be forever grateful. Well, me and Robert and the Taygetan girls, Zvarunians and Aneka, with them, that I would say them mostly, because without their knowledge, without them sharing what they shared, without the conversations, this wouldn't have happened. So I'm forever grateful, and that's why we cannot just turn the page on that, because it deserves to be in the attention of I'm losing words. Of the people, okay, people, humans. Even though I don't have any new information, of course I don't. But I have so much still from the few years ago that is amazing stuff. It's just that I never had the time to divide myself in so many directions, because I do this in 2 languages. And now I'm going to have even less time, because I have Space Academy to do, and I have Space Academy in French. Okay? Because I am crazy. And I even involved my mother. I told her to record. So I'm going to even have less time, but I have amazing stuff still to share that is still valid. Of course, like I repeat, it's not going to be on topic, you know, current affairs, but it's still going to be good stuff. Yes, Cindy, of course them, but you decided to make it public. Yes, and that's why it's been always a team effort. Every side here has its place and has its value, and has to be recognized and appreciated. Our side and their side. Our side and their side. And that's something that hasn't been mentioned much or at all by the current people in charge of Zwaru Official. There's no recognition almost at all or none to any of us. I'm not even talking about Robert, Gosia, which of course also, but Zwaru and Neka, who built this community on which later they are, feeding from. It's okay to feed from it because we are all a team, okay? Of course, but at least acknowledge it. Give its proper place, its value, recognize its importance. But anyway, I'm not going to rehash this. This was already said before. Anyway, why don't you work in one language and then let people translate into languages? Well, I have been doing this in Spanish and English for 7 years. And this is how it's going to continue now. Because I started doing this in Spanish, actually, first, with Robert. I did not do it in English for the first months. And then I decided to do this in English. It was very exciting and scary to go into the English world because I was alone there. And I didn't know how it was going to be accepted. I remember in 2018. And then I had to start doing Robert's videos that were not made into English. So yeah, French Space Academy, yeah, because to be honest, yeah, I wanted, because I have my mom who speaks French, so I'm thinking I can just do it myself. It's going to be faster if I do it myself, because micromanaging those other channels also takes time. I'm talking about other channels who belong to other people, because we coordinate things and ask questions. You know how it is sometimes. Sometimes it's like you do it yourself, it's going to be faster. So anyway. Wiggle room. You are quite right that the fake Mari team is trying to replace you. That is the key. That is what Rogue Earth Intel does. Right. And I have to stress this again because there is a subtle difference here. There's nothing wrong with them. I was talking about this in the Spanish live today as well. With them coming in and offering direct communication to people instead of having intermediaries. So in that sense, replacing the intermediary, there's nothing wrong with that because that's what I always wanted for you guys. You think I wanted to do this forever? I had the vision in 2011 when I opened my Spanish Cosmic Agency store in Barcelona. I had a store with that name, Cosmic Agency, in 2011, and my vision was to be in between place to unite the higher level with the Earth humans. And my vision, crazy vision, was to introduce extraterrestrials to the public. I didn't want to, or I never intended to be in the intermediary position forever. My goal was to build, to construct with them grounds, a community, so then they can have an easy way in to talk to people themselves. That was my dream. So I was very happy when Mari started doing this herself. It took off a lot of pressure of me because I was doing this by myself in English, and I don't like to be in the center of attention. I do not. Believe it me. I am like a lone wolf that is walking with the hood on the street, and I just like to be left alone. I am doing this because I enjoy sharing the information and I feel, well, I have to in a way, self-imposed. But I was so glad when Mari came and started sharing the direct information. That's what I was hoping for. All these, I was building the grounds for that, and then I wanted to be the help on the side. That's why I opened the Space Academy. So replaced, because many people say that, oh, they are just unhappy they were replaced. No, I wanted that for you, for the humans, for them to come in and talk to you directly, and then me being a support team, ground crew to help to help share their stuff, share their channels, share their presence. And that's what I have been doing all this time. That's what I have been doing with Mari channel, even when we already had doubts. For months we had doubts, and we were justifying that, and we kept supporting because we wanted to believe it so much. We wanted to be that support. So I do not mind being replaced in that sense and taking the role of a support ground crew. I think that's very needed. That's very needed because every star seed is needed. It will be like me saying, I don't need you. You know, we all contribute to sharing this information. We all have channels, we share the blogs, we share the videos in the languages. It's like a huge network, right? The network. Who would want to get rid of the network if you know that they are already trusted? That's all we wanted to be at this point, just a ground crew network without even talking, without even having to talk to them, because that's why Space Academy was open. I stress, no need for communication. So yeah, that's a long answer to that question. Let's see what else is there. Yes, they want to replace genuine contact. In that sense, yes. Okay. It's already 1 o'clock. Let's see if you have any more questions or interesting comments. Remember that the community in English is not as strong, I believe, than in Spanish. And I think it's mostly actually my fault, because Robert, for example, is doing lives almost every day. And in every live, he has like 300 people. And these people are so used to having him in their lives. It's like there are some people who are cooking in the kitchen and they listen to Robert. It's like part of their daily routine. I do not do that in English. I do not have that because, as I said again, I don't like to be in the public eye. I don't like too much. I don't like to have so much interaction. It tires me. I don't like to have so much attention. I am very happy to be on the side. And that's why I was so happy to just open the Space Academy and be that side support for Mari. I was very happy being replaced so they can have a direct communication. Of course. I mean, what do I have? I don't have any information myself. I can have metaphysical insights, you know, because we cannot forget about our own ability to discern reality. Of course, that's important. But technical stuff, I don't have that. You know, immersion pods, navigation, stellar information, that's them. So please, you know, take the first line here, Taygetans. That's what that'll be amazing. And that's what I wanted to be, a support. Yes, because as I was saying, the Robert has community in Spanish because he does lives every day. He interacts with people. He's very interactive there. So they have that. In English, you are very scattered because we don't have that. I do not come here, you know, joining all of you, and you can interact with each other. It's constant, you know, constant communication. It's mostly just through videos and through some groups here and there. Yes, Ben, he's interested in learning more about the pod. Definitely go to the pod technology playlist on the channel because we have a lot of videos about that topic. The immersion pods, Stasis, we call it immersion pods technology, so all is there. Yes, starseeds seem like scattered hermits, says Ben, but in Spanish it's very kind of like a family. There are a lot of passionate people. That's why I was happy that Ellie made a video, Ellie of Erra, okay, that's her YouTube channel. I shared it on my, Anthony, I'm going to respond to that in a second. I shared it on my social media Ellie of Era made a supportive video, which is nice because, like I said, in Spanish it's more active, that kind of support. In English, not so much. So I was appreciative of Ellie, thank you if you're watching, of making that video. Ellie of Era. Gosia, did any of them tell you there was a CIC on planet Earth helping? Well, yeah, throughout the years, the CIC was always a Taygetan team, you know, to do with gathering information and data and looking at different, crossing the information even between different starships, different races, and Earth and them. Some of them, most of them who belonged to the CIC before, I'm talking about the Taygetan CIC, they were not coming down to Earth. But some of them did. Few of them did. For example, we have few people in the chat room that are very active in the Spanish community, and that's Eva Carolina, very active. Thank you for your support. Also, Marcos Anta. Gosia, if Mari lied from the beginning that she didn't talk to humans, don't you think it was to leave them aside and as if it were something premeditated? Well, yeah, Mari did say that she never had interaction, that she didn't have interaction with people, not to have influence on her channels, but she did talk to humans. And that's Lula and the company and other people there, and that's humans. So they had influence on her, which is totally fine. Of course, they can talk to anybody they want to, always. But the point is, she said she didn't. Anyway, that's just, I don't know. I'm not sure I understand the question exactly. Yes, wiggle room. You're right. You see, that's what I believe as well, that this is our role here. It says, Gosia, you are normalizing ET contact, and that is exactly what the Earth humans need. That's why I do believe that as much as it is cool when Mari opened the channel and talking directly to people, I still do believe that that ground support, Earth support, is needed because, like you said, it's normalizing ET contact. I am here talking to you with my face and being here on the ground, and you can touch me, and I am a human person talking about the ETs. And this is normalizing the subject. Yes, exactly. That's a good point. So I always believe that having that kind of a ground support crew is necessary or helpful, at least. Anthony, Mari said CIC on Earth is why the email receipt from donation had another person's name on it. No, this is just excuses. And the CIC that we found with Robert, that's people from Earth, is a human, okay? Humans. I don't want to be like Robert because it's him mostly talking about this stuff. And like I said, this topic, did I say that? Yes, in the beginning. This topic doesn't interest me that much, but these are people. One of them in Argentina and two others in Spain and who knows where else, okay? I don't know who else is in the CIC, but those people for sure are people, humans. They are not step-downs working on Earth. No, they are people from Earth. Of course, they have CIC, they had CIC members sometimes coming down and doing whatever operation, sometimes, but that's not who was CIC 01, CIC 03, CIC 07. These are people from Earth, not Taygetans. But go check with Robert for more information. Go check with Robert for more information. Okay, what else? I think that's it. I don't have any more information. I don't have any more things to say. Let's see how I go with the Cabal subject for a Space Academy. I'm tired though, so you have to be patient. That would be cool. Melilot, you are founder of Space Academy Earth. It will be fun when you start interviewing more outer Earth beings on your pod classes. Yeah, that would be something. That would be something super interesting. Who knows? Anything is possible. I'm still young and I'm still willing. And even though I'm tired, I'm still here and nowhere near quitting. Okay, I think that's it, right? Thank you, Cindy. Cindy is also active in the Spanish community, so thanks, guys. Eloise Alciona is also active in the Spanish community and in French. She's doing the French Taygetan disclosure. Avatar of the Blue, good to see you in a good mood, Gosia. I'm okay. I'm tired though. Tired, I'm not saying just tired because I want to sleep, just tired in general, you know? This is a very tiring situation and... Oh! This is something I forgot. Another reason why it's not possible for us or easy to turn the page, because if, okay, for example, this is a good example. Imagine that your boyfriend or girlfriend or wife or husband cheats on you. Okay, imagine, this is just I'm not saying this is similar, I'm just saying, imagine the situation. Okay, well, it hurts you, but as soon as it happens, you can start moving on. You move out of the house, you do not communicate anymore with that person, you move on. You are like, you are healing, but you are at some point turning the page. Okay, in our case, we cannot do that because, as I just stated before, we don't want to stop doing this work. And that means that we are connected to the energy of this work and to whatever is happening and to the emotions around this work. So we could turn the page if we would like move to Fiji and I would start fishing. And I would just forget about all this. But as I said, I'm not going to do that, which means I'm still doing the videos, which means I'm still connected to the story. And that is not permitting me to turn the page because I'm connected to the emotion involved with this whole story. I'm not letting go because I'm still attached to the work. Self-imposed, of course. Self-imposed. So that's why, because Matthias also has been telling me, like, just move on, you know, forget these assholes. Like, for example, okay, that's how he's saying. Well, I cannot do that because I'm constantly working with this project. And that means being connected to the asshole story, there being attached to this project. So it's like always there. Do you understand what I'm saying? I cannot detach from the story because I'm working still here. I'm still with you. I'm making the videos. I'm not going anywhere. So I'm going to do the videos, but the sacrifice is that the story and the energy of the story is still there around me and in me. That's the sacrifice. And eating me inside. But I'm okay with that sacrifice because I still want to do the videos and support the true Taygetan friends that we had. Okay, I hope you understand. I don't see any questions that I can answer, so I think I'm going to be gone now. I'm going to rest, and we're going to see each other soon. Give me some time to make that video on Space Academy. Okay? And I think that's it. Anthony, I already made the announcement on that topic. So look it up. It's on my social media. It's also on my blog, on a website. Because if you don't have any social media, some of the announcements I also publish on the blog on the website, zvaru.org, in the English section for you guys, English section. And there you can see our response to that matter. What else? That's it. Take advantage, because I don't know when I'm going to be here again. I usually don't come online very often. Oh, Ben Dorox, Gosia, the Taygetans talk about what helps against spike protein and lung. Whoa. You have to go to my Odyssey. Well, sorry, no, my Odyssey is my YouTube channel. No, you have to go to odyssey.com. Odyssey.com. That's another platform that we have our censored videos. And there's a whole list of videos on that topic. A lot of videos on that topic that were censored on YouTube. I'm not sure if spike proteins were mentioned there specifically. Thank you much for Anthony. Thanks, guys. Okay, I'm tired. Oh my gosh. It's so difficult to disconnect sometimes. I see the chat going and comments and thanks, everybody. Okay, I think that's it. I don't see any more questions. Good night for everybody. Good night to everybody. I'm going to see you soon. Space Academy, Sector Earth. Bye, guys. Good night. And thank you again for your support and for your patience in all this situation. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.